And there's the meeting of the minds between Ben Johns and Colin Johns, the brother duo that is so tough to beat.
Game one,
3 titles in 2023. Looking for a 4th now. Drive from Colin Johns gets us started. And you actually had a little conversation with Colin after his brother's singles championship match, because that man has a little black book. It's digital of all the scouting reports needed.
Yeah, good hands there. Yeah, they're talented, they're in sync, and they do more work off the court from watching video and knowing tendencies of players than anybody. And Colin had to hurry up and get a Colin Schick handbook put together quickly for that first singles match we had today.
All smiles from Thomas Wilson and Julian Arnold, even though they lost the rally there. 2 collegiate tennis products. Thomas Wilson out of Purdue as well as UT. Julian Arnold out of UCLA. Oh, that's
just wide.
I was going to say pretty, and I think Julian Arnold thinks that ball's in. I believe we're going to see our first video challenge. Colin Johns calling that ball out of bounds. There's a look at it. So the first video challenge we have had on this championship Sunday.
1-0-1. We will now proceed with video review.
Looking at it from the side there, I'd like to see that original behind the court view as well. If you're not looking just straight up the line, it's harder to see.
In our quarterfinals, semifinals, and of course our championship matches.
Tough to tell from that angle as well. Again, as a reminder, the call on court was out of bounds. Julian Arnold felt pretty confident this ball was in bounds.
And had a good look at it.
Here's a look.
They can challenge the calls on the court. If they win the challenge,
and from that angle, it looks like it's catching the line. We'll see if this gets overturned.
I want to know though, how many of you out there saw the ball?
We're playing this as our officials sort through. 1 versus 7 here for the men's doubles championship match.
And you talked about we're going to Austin, Cameron. These boys are just going home. All 4 of them.
Excited to play on their home soil. Julian Arnold, the most recent to hit the Austin soil. Alongside Lawrence Stratman, they made the move. Tennessee.
The call is overturned. We will resume.
And the chest bump to celebrate as the call is overturned, ball in bounds. So a good video challenge for Julian Arnold and Thomas Wilson.
1-1-2.
I've never seen a video challenge celebrated quite like that.
Especially on the second point of the match, like at 9 all in the 5th. Okay.
That's too fun. Score is 1-1.
Oh, and okay, Colin's already pointing at the other side. We're a little spicy to start with here.
1-2-1. 1-1-1. Sorry.
Score remains 1-1. How do you leave this ball?
And both of them left it. They just were like, oh, all cash.
How did you know that was going to be out of bounds? I thought this one was going to be good.
2-2-1. Correct.
Trying to get the score right here.
2-1-1.
I believe it's 2-1-1 here.
2-1-1.
a shot straight at Colin Johns, just at the left tip. So second serve, score is 2-1. Thomas Wilson with a lot of work up at the kitchen line. The speed up, he's about a foot off. And a nice ball.
Yeah, caught Ben just a little late, not expecting that ball to come straight ahead, right down that tee.
Just too much pace from Ben Johns.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Arnold and Wilson deal with this. They're going to play straight up, meaning when they're on the odd, it'll be Thomas Wilson on the left. See if they feel one or the other is a better choice.
Thomas Wilson gets up to the net from the drive-drop combination, but the backhand flick too far. Off Julian Arnold's paddle.
Right out. Two, 1-1.
Ball is good. Counter from Colin Johns.
Great job moving the paddle from the backhand positioning to the forehand. Really good read, because you can see his first move was backhand, then he got that forehand there. That's impressive from CJ.
Julian Arnold with the right paddle position.
So he knew if he went straight ahead, it's likely to come back to the backhand, and really nice job being ready.
Right now they're looking for the heads-up battle between Thomas Wilson and Colin Johns.
Yeah, Colin is doing a great job of countering.
Yep. 4-1-2.
Great footwork and movement from Thomas Wilson, moving that ball around.
Really impressive. You know, you see that, and there's a lot of spin on those dinks, and to keep that ball down and not attackable and then move Ben Johns out of that middle, that's a great job by Thomas Wilson there.
Colin Johns looking for the speed up to Julian Arnold, who found himself on the other side of the net, or the other side of the court.
And found himself in the middle of his own finger whack, so okay.
So casual, the resets from Colin Johns until the last.
Oh, and there's chatter.
I would hope there's chatter.
Yeah. Oh, there's chatter.
Give us a show, boys. Also important to note, they are playing straight up on the side of Julian Arnold and Thomas Wilson, so you'll see each one play both the right and the left.
3-4-2.
And you will not see that ever on the white clad Johns side of the court.
So earning two back Side out for Johnson. John's here. Tried it earlier, had some success, but it was more out of the court position of him actually being towards that center line versus the sideline.
Yeah, and Colin had his paddle ready for a scorpion here, but it didn't go to him.
Julian Arnold again. Little finger gun there. Someone tossed out a clay pigeon.
5-3-2.
Teamwork makes the dream work right here.
Three, 5-1.
And he's going to hold that pose and a salute to go with it.
I'm not gonna lie, it is fun to say.
Four, 5-1.
It's interesting too, on that last rally they had stacks, so they are liking Julian Arnold just a little bit more on the left side. I'm curious to know when they're choosing to do that.
Side out. Five, 4-1. Second serve.
And that's just a absolute no-fly zone there, up high on the Thomas Wilson forehand. I mean, just absolutely clobbers that one.
Point.
Missed dink from Julian Arnold on the backhand side.
And Ben will happily stay in that exchange if that's where the...
Yeah, for 109 contacts.
I know. Yesterday, my goodness. That pickleball guy got a lot of...
Well, him and Craig Johnson. Craig Johnson was the guy on the other side in that cross-court dink rally that went 109 shots.
Point.
And a second missed dink for Julian.
Yeah, so you have all the fire and the brimstone. You got to make the dinks, though, to get you there.
Left to right. Excuse me, Thomas Wilson, nice adjustment there in the hands battle.
Yeah, I don't think that skimmed off the tape, the last one either. Just misfire from Ben.
4-7-1.
5-7.
Yeah, rare freebie from Colin.
5-7-1.
All attack mode for Arnold and Wilson. A good read from Julian Arnold off his partner's paddle.
6-7-1.
Now Thomas Wilson getting involved in the chorus.
Second serve.
Such a good fade from Colin Johns there. That is a good attack from Arnold.
6-7-2.
Down by 1 now. Arnold and Wilson.
I mean, just so good on the counters. Did it all day yesterday against Frazier and J.W. Johnson as well.
Got to pick your spots wisely against Colin Johns. Lets the ball bounce and finger high, ball out of bounds.
Too close for me to overrule. Call stands. Point. 8-6-1.
Oh, I love that. Finding some space after 2 great dinks on opposing sides. 1 to Ben, 1 to Colin.
That's just outstanding from Julian Arnold, and you earned that by the ball before it. So that's a really good combination.
Speaking of combinations, Ben Johns with his own.
Yeah, and if Julian cuts that backhand dink and it's up in the air, that's where problems start.
Ben Johns again. The roll on the backhand side.
10-6-2.
No timeouts here.
Just a bit too high on the drop. So a side out now for Arnold and Wilson.
6-10-1. Second serve.
Julian Arnold ended up on 1 knee.
Yes.
Just to pop out of the way.
6-10-2. Side out.
7-10 with the missed return.
Seven, 10-2.
Gonna keep Thomas Wilson on the left here. And Julian Arnold looks pretty dangerous off the bounce on the forehand side.
He really
He's had
does.
about 3 of those winners now.
Yeah, got a little fortunate that Ben's reply came off the tape there, but still. And, you know, they've been very comfortable. They're just switching. Odds. Thomas is on the other side, even.
They've
Julian.
only stacked a handful of times, maybe 2 or 3.
Timeout receivers. 8-10-1.
Timeout called here as Ben and Colin get the ball back. The number 1 seed just 1 point away from game number 1. The Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open, the 5th stop on the Carvana PPA Tour. We're in the midst of our 3rd championship match. We've already seen Ben Johns pick up 1 title on the day. And not to mention Catherine Parento and Anna Lee Waters picking up the women's doubles title. Thomas Wilson with a pretty aggressive shot right there. If that lands, that would have definitely ended up on the highlights for Thomas Wilson. But nonetheless, Ben Johns and Colin Johns pick up game number 1. We're playing best of 5, and they are 2 games away. Cameron Irwin alongside Dave Fleming to walk you through the Carvana Championship Sunday. Julian Arnold and Thomas Wilson currently challenging Ben and Colin Johns in the men's final. Game 2 starts now. And same thing, so tough to go at Colin Johns.
I mean, he understands the geometry of the game so well, too. He's like, the only place that ball can be in is on the left side of my body, so I'll leave the paddle there.
Ball just on the kitchen line for Thomas Wilson. A little frustrated with the missed dink there.
1-0-1.
Ben and Colin more than willing to sit in a dink rally all day long.
Yeah, bad luck there for Thomas Wilson. Had a ball he thought he could bring through the middle of the court, caught the tape, and then it's room service for Ben.
Colin Johns just too good.
Yeah, you feel like, well, certainly I can get this guy on this one. And the fact that he's ready for the second one is what's really impressive about this. Paddle up the whole time.
3-0 now for the number 1 seed. They just keep trying.
No, I'm going to get the cheese out of the trap, I swear.
Even located that one higher on him.
Switched out of it. Now Thomas is over there.
And Julian, nice little roll out of the air. We talked about the last time these 2 teams met. We'll not forget that court out on the grandstand in Mesa, Arizona. That one finished with what we call some spiciness. A little shh call from Colin Johns.
Yeah, he waved Julian home.
Yeah, plenty of trash talk in that one.
Right now he's letting his paddle do all the talking.
Julian Arnold, fleet of foot.
Yeah, beautiful fade to favor the backhand here. So he sees that he's in a little bit of trouble from the ball off of his partner's paddle. So he sets up his backhand. That's a great ball from Arnold.
Colin Johns hits his ATPs with actual less pace than most of the other pros, but I feel like it's on purpose because they expect it so hard driven. And it ultimately ends up being a tougher ball to have to get back on the defense.
Yeah, it really keeps it low as well, which makes it even harder because you're not getting pace and it's not coming up. So you have to give
Lift
more.
the ball.
Yes, correct.
So even if his ATP isn't the winner, the next ball is. And that's the pattern that worked so well for them. They've executed it once before in game number 1, finding the edges of the court and then through the middle.
2-5-2.
Yeah, that inside out dink from Thomas Wilson is so heavy that it pushes you well off the court. And boy, they're staring at the return there. So they're asking if they can challenge their own call here.
No, not after you play the ball.
So they're saying, so what's happening is you've already played the ball into the net and missed. Had they caught that ball, they could challenge it, but because they've already played the next shot, so that's the discussion going on right now.
No ruling. $5-0-1.
So here we go.
Correction. 5-0-2. 6.
That's not the score either.
5-2
Thank you.
is our score.
5-2-1.
Some extra sauce on that one. Julian's looking at his partner going, "You good, bro?"
Yeah, like, and sometimes when you have that little discussion, we'll call it, with the referee, you can have a rough point. So it's nice for Arnold and Wilson to get a sitter. Wow.
Wow, Ben John showing just how well he can locate that roll on the backhand side. 2 different spots hit.
Yeah, Arnold made an unbelievable recovery on a ball down the line, and the ball is behind him, and he got it back in the court.
You know, it's funny, just this past week, they shared a video of Colin Johns telling the story of Ben Johns' backhand roll on the Tennis Sucks podcast. And it was hilarious. It involves a ping pong table and a bookcase. And that's how that backhand roll of Ben Johns came to be. I definitely suggest checking it out.
Point. Timeout receivers. 8-2-2.
So at 8-2, a timeout called, with Thomas Wilson and Julian Arnold down by 6. Need to sort through a few things to face off against this #1 seed in game 2 action. Julian Arnold playing with the volare in his hand, a creation of his own making.
Yes. Has a stake in the fine company.
Nice, Thomas Wilson. Little scorpion.
Yeah, if the ball's down, get your paddle up. I mean, it's unbelievable how we didn't say that one time 16 months ago. And now everyone has figured out that that's the way you protect your body.
No, you make a great point. This game just continues to develop in ways that we can't even imagine.
No.
Even just in the men's singles was a great example of someone using the drop volleys substantially more than in the past. Julian looked to flick, but Ben Johns ever the ready.
Yeah, and you think he's sitting there on the backhand, so you're going to get that paddle side, but just too far outside. If he would have jammed him a little better, that would have worked.
Ernie from Thomas Wilson.
Yeah, that's the phenomenal athlete that he is coming to light there. That's the place where you think the ball can go for safety, but not if you cut it off first.
Ben Johns with the perfect drive and close.
And held the finish for good measure.
9-2-2.
Thomas Wilson with an additional. Fans are liking that.
Yeah, I mean, take one shot out of that arsenal of theirs. It's a great job by Thomas Wilson.
Second serve.
And just popped up. Julian Arnold had his paddle just behind his right foot.
2-9-2.
It's that one right there, just a problem.
Looking for the shake and bake here.
Nine, two, one.
Thomas Wilson outstretched on the backhand side, still able to pull that back to the line.
2-2.
Saw that same shot from his partner earlier in this game.
Point.
Change in tempo from Colin
Yeah.
Johns.
Little fadeaway trigger pull there, surprised everybody.
Different location for Thomas Wilson.
Yeah, that's a smart ball. Let's show him one side and then flick it the other side the next time. Caught Ben Johns off guard.
Point.
Very impressed again. Julian Arnold out of the middle, that forehand off the bounce.
3-2-1.
Locating that well, keeping it low to the net. Ben Johns into the net. Got away with one ear.
4-10-1. Second serve. Four, 10-2.
Attention, attention, I'm looking for Bob, Rick, Lisa Cutton, Sean Blank. Your parking attention have been canceled. Thank you.
Julian on the backhand side. That man is not scared to speed up off the bounce.
He is not, and he has caught Ben 3 times now in the past 5 or 6 rallies.
point right there for the 7 seed. They are looking to Colin Johns' left foot
Yep.
a lot more right now. It's neutralizing them. They're not finding any offense in that position.
Very smart. It's tedious, but you have to have the discipline.
Ben and Colin earn the ball back, 10-6. Trying to go 1-for-1 with Ben Johns. Goes long though, so game number 2 to Ben and Colin. The fellas in white are 1 game away now. To game 3 we go. Playing 3 out of 5. Ben Johns and Colin Johns, the number 1 seed here at the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open, have the first 2 games in hand. Thomas Wilson and Julian Arnold reside on the opposing side of the net. It's time for them to find something special.
Yeah, they started to find a little bit. They were exploiting that left foot of Colin Johns. That inside-out forehand of Thomas Wilson opens up the court. We've seen some really nice speed-ups from Julian Arnold. We just need to see more of them and more consistently.
That's a good start for Thomas Wilson.
0-0-1. Second serve.
Off the back foot of Julian Arnold, out of bounds.
Yeah, and this is, you know, you can't worry about winning 3 games when you need to just get the first one here, but the fundamentals, again, just make those thirds, give yourself more opportunities.
Somehow Colin still snags this. I don't even know how that's possible.
He just covered his eyes.
He said that was blind. Swinging at the air and came up with one.
Wow.
Julian Arnold looking for the flip.
And again, you see Colin, like if you want to learn something from the way he does it, he's ready. It's like a third baseman being ready. He's expecting the ball every time, even when he doesn't get it.
Second serve.
And Mona, the Petro, report to court.
1-0-2.
F1. Steve and Mona, the Petro, G-F1.
This third from Ben Johns here.
0-1-1.
Looking at his Perseus paddle. He's got that thing all sorts of weighted on the edges.
Yep.
Second serve.
And look at that location. Just wild. One thing to get that ball up the line, but also down in that downward trajectory at the right hip of Thomas Wilson.
Beautiful speed up from Colin Johns there that goes across the body and surprises Julian Arnold in front of him, and then Ben Johns just waiting.
Yeah, it kind of works with that rock step from left to right and then finishing back through the ball. Trying to get Colin pushed out wide and find the middle. And Johns again. Lightning fast hands.
Yeah, and the challenge when you're swinging the two-handed backhand is you have to bring the paddle up from your shoulder and back again, and Ben's just in front, and you're going to lose that most of the time unless your pace is outrageous.
Wilson, the Ernie and body bag.
Yeah, that's a really nice read again by him of where is Colin's paddle here. He sees and you got to wait till the head goes down to jump too, or else Colin will see it and push it into the middle of the court. Smart read by Thomas there.
Wilson.
Just a tremendous finals pickleball rally right there. Colin John's frustrated. He went for the Ernie and that caught the tape, and just so much great athleticism on 1 point.
Second serve.
And an expedited one next.
Yes.
0-3-2.
And that's the beauty. The Johns just keep everything even keel. Like, yep, we lost one we would have liked to have. They don't care.
Another good shuffle step from Thomas Wilson as the forehand comes flying.
Yeah, the footwork's the key there. You're exactly right. You have to be able to literally do that A.J. Kohler crab walk. Yeah, we're at the beach here. Come on.
They're really starting to get on Colin Johns just enough right here in game number 3.
Yeah, and just a little more pace there from Thomas Wilson. You see how quiet Colin is on those, but oh.
Side out.
That would have been fun if he made it.
3-2-1.
Wilson's playing more in the green. I love that. I don't even know what we call that. The crouching tiger?
Yes. Where is the hidden dragon? Come on, there he is.
That's amazing. And again, same thing, the ATP from Colin Johns popped up, and it's not the next ball, but it's one just after that.
Yeah, but you get the full retreat out of it.
Yeah. Colin Johns trying to take over the middle as that ball's out of bounds.
Yeah, missed the easiest shot of the 3-ball combo there. All over that one.
2-4-1.
Again, Thomas Wilson getting really aggressive on that corner.
Yeah, and when there's pace on it, he has to react to that, so then his feet are moving too much, and there's just no way to contain that and the momentum of the ball.
They're putting all the pressure on Colin Johns right now and just forcing the dink until they can find the speed up.
Yeah, so Julian is speeding that up cross court, and you saw that while on it, Collins paddles behind him, so that is not going to be an aggressive counter, whereas when he's straight up, he's been countering down.
Now Julian gets one. Mark it up on the scoreboard. Julian Arnold in the hands battle.
4-4-2.
When you start to see that rock step from Colin Johns, you better get ready.
Yeah, and he keeps the paddle in the same position, so you're thinking it's coming, but you're not sure, and just great accuracy on the fire there.
Second serve.
Hands on hips for Colin Johns.
4-4-2.
Kind of kept Ben a little bit quieter here in game 3. He hasn't seen as many opportunities, maybe in a hands battle or two, but here he gets a good look.
Yeah, and that two-handed backhand that Julian Arnold had a shot at, they were ahead. He just couldn't quite get it down, and Ben gives a souvenir to the crowd. Hey, here's a cracked ball. Congratulations.
Never heard someone be so excited for a broken piece of equipment. 5-4 is your score. Ben and Colin up 2-0 here in game 3.
And if you wonder why Thomas Wilson jumped out of the court and back in, he was worried that he would have his momentum go into the kitchen, and that would be a fault. So that's why you saw that extra pogo stick there out of him.
I was wondering if Ben was going to start to take more of those just off the left foot of Colin Johns.
And Colin wishes he hadn't, because he ended up wearing this one.
And that's why they're able to work so much around the corner for Thomas Wilson. You have to be wary of the Julian Arnold forehand for this exact reason.
Yep. Yeah, much better patterns here.
Second serve.
But again, they've been able to get that one or two and then have that's a forehand that these guys actually end up winning points off of, and they spray it deep.
Uh-oh. The no-no is definitely picked up on the mics.
Another great job and fancy footwork there from Thomas Wilson.
And again, night-night ball, says Julian Arnold.
Timeout. Savers, 8-5-2.
At 8-5, I'm sorry, that was hilarious. I like the little reaction there from Julian Arnold. So a 3-point advantage for the number 7 seed here in game number 3. Look for Ben and Colin to make some adjustments. 3 points is the advantage for Thomas Wilson and Julian Arnold. They're up 8-5 here at the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open on the Carvana PPA Tour. Game 3 of your men's doubles championship match. Playing 3 out of 5. Ball is good.
Yeah, Thomas Wilson stared it down and then just like, yep, flat hand means in. Pretty good shot coming out of a timeout right there.
Just watch how much court Ben Johns can cover.
Yeah, and the first ball that they put back to Ben's backhand's got to get on the ground, or then you are inviting a problem into your house.
Not enough on that from Julian Arnold. We've seen so many of those dinks try and go to the left foot of Colin Johns here in game number 3. Be curious to see if Ben Johns starts to take an extra half step.
Doesn't need to even take another half step if the ball's in the air. That's
nope.
Vintage Ben Johns there. Again, it's that ball right there. It's got to get down.
Well, if it were truly vintage, you might see actually the left-handed forehand from Ben Johns. Just saying here as they earn 2 back. So a timeout, I believe, is being called, excuse me, by Arnold and Wilson.
Yeah, the rare timeout sighting by the Johns brothers there. Get the ball right back, and now it's 8 apiece. So we're tied. Arnold and Wilson, you love it. If you call timeout, make a little run, and then make the team that was just up call timeout. Like, that's nirvana from a strategic perspective. And, you know, when this has been working for Arnold and Wilson is ball on the ground wide, and then just funnel it to that Colin Johns left foot, inside out, get Ben out of there, and then fire away, especially cross court. Got to get back to that, and got to get back to it right now. Can't have any breakdowns at the kitchen line here.
Nope, Colin Johns moving his feet awfully quickly. These 4 athletes ready to go back out on the court in game 3.
Yes, one of these athletes has one more match to play as well. 3 of them do not.
That one hurts. You got Ben Johns back to the baseline. Got them just out of position.
Yeah, the lob from Wilson was perfection.
9-8-1.
The staggered stands from Ben and Colin after the second lob we've seen. Well executed by Thomas Wilson.
Yeah, has he ever ramped up here at crunch time? This is fantastic. Pickleball took that ball away from his partner.
And again, just demolishing that overhead.
He's got one of the liveliest arms on tour, and that is spanked. And spanked with angle.
9-9.
And then an absolute gift.
9-9-1.
The 4-point run for Ben and Colin. I think Thomas might have taken just an extra step there, unbalanced, thinking maybe he was going to go just over the corner.
9-9-2.
Thomas Wilson wants that back. Look where it bounced.
Oh, so many opportunities on that, but he wasn't in position, and John's boys are smiling. They got away with something there.
I just don't think he expected Colin to pop that one up as much as he did. Colin Johns with the 3rd shot drive. (10-9).
9-9-1.
Championship point. set. Thomas Wilson, Ben and Colin find their 4th on the Carvana PPA Tour.
Undefeated in 2023. That's why there's a 1 next to their name on the draw. And not only are they so well oiled as a tandem, they keep adding little things to their game, and they really got pushed there in game number 3. But when it comes to crunch time, they're just better than everybody else right now, and that's why they keep winning.
So big congrats to the #1 seed, Ben Johns and Colin Johns, in 3 straight games, taking home the championship here at the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open. Coming up after the break, the 3rd member of our crew will be having a nice conversation with our winners. Cameron Blackwood is standing courtside. We'll be back with more from Holly Hill.
Welcome back. I'm Cameron Blackwood here with our winners, Colin and Ben Johns. Colin, it is crucial to keep momentum in a game like this, especially with the fiery Julian Arnold on the other side. How were you able to neutralize him in this match?
Yeah, they're going to bring a lot of energy no matter what the scoreline is. Even when we were up big, they were still screaming over there, trying to bring the energy, trying to get back in the match, switching sides. So definitely have to be aware of that and stick to the game plan.
And Ben, we talked earlier this weekend about how panic is never a good thing. You and Colin very calm and controlled out there. It looked like that off speed, about 50-60% speed up, was working for you guys. Why?
Yeah, I think the overall thing is definitely, counter well against those guys, but also you can't play passive. You gotta keep the pressure on. You gotta pull the trigger because that keeps them actually less aggressive. So your best defense is a good offense as well, and it just happened that kind of speed up was working the best. So that's what we went with.
Well, congratulations. We'll get Jeff out here with Red Clay Hot Sauce to present the trophy.
Thanks, Cameron. So, tremendous playing, guys. On behalf of Red Clay Hot Sauce and the PPA Tour, congrats on your championship.
Congratulations, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.